Shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel. 34 times the Booster Club has been called upon and 34 times they've answered. Join the team today and help send the prophets around the world. 12 tribes worldwide. Shalom.
I can't get enough of this word, call me library. All you do is talk, I tell them read, I'll be your pallbearer. As long as my hands clean, I'ma teach, I let the laws tear. You rebuke your doctrine, can't believe I even fell for it. Yeah. Bodies dropping, no top models, no need for worries, cause God got us. See, masculinity need to be shown for real. And all of you that's cross-dressing would be dressed to be killed. Apollo Creed, but I'm hitting like I'm Holyfield. You counting sheep, but you the hireling, the type to flee. This for the meat, when the battle won, they gnash their teeth. I can't believe I even fell for their hypocrisy. Like it or not, it's Kwam Yasharala. Laws attached to the brain, medulla oblongata. We are not the same over here, we walk with giants. 10 toes down with the clay is mixed with iron. I can't get enough of this word, call me library. All you do is talk, I tell them read, I'll be your pallbearer. As long as my hands clean, I'ma teach, I let the laws tear. You rebuke your doctrine, can't believe I even fell for it.
Minister, in this race you gotta last just to finish first. I'm in a big league with the top prophets.
My question was, why are we oppressed? As black men and women, why are we at the bottom of society? Let me ask you real quick, is there anybody on this earth, any other race, that is lower than a black man and woman? Not that you know of, and neither do I. And my question is why? Why are we, when you think of all the races, the Chinese, the Arabs, the Caucasians, the Japanese, the Russians, the Germans, black men and women are at the bottom? Why?
Come on, now.
I don't know, sometimes I guess, maybe we chose to be that way.
You said we chose. How do we choose to do that, sis?
Not chose, but I mean, I know that we were slaves, but it seems like we're still enslaving our own selves.
We still, give me some examples of how we enslave our own selves, because you're absolutely right. There's some things that we do to keep ourselves, crabs in a barrel, as I'm sure you're familiar with that term, crabs in a barrel, pull each other down. Why is that though? Let me ask you, you familiar with Black Panthers, the ones in the 60s? You familiar with Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King? Are you familiar with Black Wall Street down there in Oklahoma? What I'm naming to you, sis, are different times in our history where we've come together to uplift our people and to better our community. Marcus Garvey was a political leader, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. They all did the same thing Black Panthers did, which was to fight for our freedom and to fight for our equality. But as you just said a minute ago here in 2020, we're still at the bottom of society. And the reason why none of that has succeeded is because we don't understand why we're at the bottom. Do you read the Bible, sis? Sometimes, okay. Do you believe in the Bible at all? Where can you find black women in the Bible, or black men? African American woman or African American man? I ask that because how can you believe in a book that you don't see yourself in? And the truth is, can you miss it and come catch the next one? All right, sis, well then check out the flyer, because this is the most important thing that any of us are going to get on this earth. How do we say that we believe in a book, but yet we can't see ourselves? We're actually all up and through this Bible. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. The problem is, the Bible has been taught to us by our oppressors. The Bible has been taught to us by our captors, so they're not going to tell you the things that are going to allow you to overcome them. And the truth is, God is punishing you because you're not keeping his commandments. Should we go back to keeping God's commandments? Give me 28:1. Then we would receive the blessings. We will receive all the things that God will bestow upon us. My brother right here, let me ask you this. What's your nationality, sir? African American. All praises. Where in Africa is the land of African American? It ain't no land. So where are you calling yourself from? Where's your homeland? Where in Africa? There's over 50 countries over there.
Check it out.
I'm asking this because how do we say that we're a race but we don't even know where we come from? African American is just a nice way to say I'm black, right? But where's the land of black? I'm a Negro, where's the land of Negro? I'm colored, where's the land of color? Basically, you saying you don't have an identity.
We were never talked about, that's why.
You say it again?
We were never talked about, that's why.
We were never taught, right? And who teaches us? Who runs the schools? The colleges? Our oppressors, right? Why would your oppressors show you anything about who you truly are? And more importantly, if we were just unga boongas in the jungle when they came and got us, why was it so important to cut off our name, our lineage, our heritage, and call us now Jamal, James, and Bruce, and John? If we was nobody, why was it important to cut your lineage off? The reason why, and the reason it goes back to why I asked you what your nationality is because you are an Israelite according to this Bible. And you have power with God, but as long as you call yourself an African American or you do things like the Caucasians do, like the way you dress, the way you speak, or the education that you get, God is not going to be dealing with you, which is why we're living at the bottom of society. Would you agree? We're at the bottom of society. And again, let me ask you this: why are we at the bottom? Y'all know we the best dressers. We the best basketball players. We good at anything that we do. You get a job in the first day with no training, you got it just like that. So you very good at what you do. We blessed, but then why are we at the bottom?
Teach!
Give me Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. If you care to know, that's our job, is to show us who we are according to this Bible. Because for too long, we've been walking around not knowing who we are, oppressed and whatnot, and therefore, we don't know where we're going. Give me this right here. This is Moses speaking to the Israelites, who you descend from. When you check out this sign right here, there are 12 tribes from our forefather Jacob, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, so on and so forth. And that's who you descend from. Your name isn't black man, African American man. Excuse me, your race isn't that. Your race is an Israelite. But how do you know that? How do you know that? I'm going to show you right here. Give me this, Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. This is Moses, who we know of. We heard about Moses. Split the Red Sea, coming out of Egypt, let my people go, right? This is him speaking to the Israelites, who you descend from. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to prove that to you. Give me 27:1 real quick to verify that's who we're talking to. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 and verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel.
So the audience that Moses was speaking to was the elders of Israel. The audience that we're speaking to right now are Israelites. Whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, you are Israelites. So now this is what Moses was speaking to when he talked to the Israelites. And the reason why that's important is because, y'all familiar with the Declaration of Independence? The Declaration of Independence? The Constitution, right? Who was the audience of the Declaration of Independence to? Who was the audience of the Declaration of Independence for? America, right? So you can't take that Declaration of Independence over to France or Germany and say that this is for y'all. Check out the flyer, brothers. The most important thing you're going to be able to get is to understand who you are according to the Bible. Your true nationality. You can't take the Declaration of Independence and read that to Germans or French people and say this is talking to y'all. No, the audience was for America. Just as this Bible, the audience was for the Israelites. So what did Moses say to the elders of Israel that would explain why the black man lives the way that they do in the year 2020? Read.
28 verse 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
So it's gonna happen. My brother right here, come talk with us still. Because we're giving solutions, we're giving reasons as to why we're at the bottom of society, as well as solutions. Because you don't need us out here with a Bible or a book to tell you that you're oppressed, that you're under captivity. But you need us to give you the solutions. Keep going, read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if the black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man today don't listen to God, we don't want to keep God's commandments, read, what would happen?
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So that audience that Moses was speaking to would be cursed if they didn't keep God's commandments. They would be cursed. Now, Moses was speaking thousands of years ago. So let's read some of the curses that Moses prophesied, which explains our condition today. This is how you know Moses was speaking to the black man. Give me verse 16, read.
Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So the Israelite man and woman today will be cursed in the city. Who lives in the hoods, in the ghettos of every city across America? Hell, every city across the world.
Bring it up.
Israel is is always at the bottom of society. That's, as the sister pointed out earlier, she understood that. Ain't nobody lower than the black man today.
Right.
Ain't no other race lower than the black man, Hispanic man today.
Right.
That's how you know this Bible is talking about you. You will be cursed in the city. Who else gets shot down in the streets and the hoods and the ghettos? Not only by the Caucasians, but our own people.
That's right.
Who is getting sold drugs? Who is given welfare to destroy their family? To take out the morale of working?
Right.
To take out the morale of having a husband?
Right.
Who else does that fit? Israel and none else. Israel will be cursed in the city, and Israel will be cursed in the fields. Who was out there picking cotton? Who's still down there today in Florida and Central America picking the fruit that you eat from Cup Foods?
Come on now.
In the tobacco fields.
Right.
Getting paid little to no wages. And our living conditions is still the same as it was during the plantation days. We still at the bottom of society.
That's right.
Give me verse 68, read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it
Hold on
on.
1 second. Officers, that's our peoples? My brother, what's your nationality? Brother man. You Mexican? You read the Bible? Okay, tell me, come here, let me ask you one thing. Why is the Mexican man at the bottom of society today? Why are we oppressed? Come on, talk to me. You said because the system? Make it plain for me. What you mean by the system?
Like, people be out here trying to get a job, all that.
Yeah.
Out here, you went to a whole different time, you got a job.
Yeah. You said the system makes it hard for you, right? And let's make it more plain. The system makes it hard for you by once, if you go to jail, you get a felony, now you can't get a top tier job, right? You got to be at the entry level, right? Or if you didn't go to school and pay thousands of dollars for a diploma, now you got to be entry level position, right? You remember with the conquistadors? What was the conquistadors having the Mexicans do? The conquistadors are the conquerors, the ones who came from Spain over in Europe. When they came over to America, what did they have the natives doing, the Mexicans doing? They had them as slaves doing what? Getting gold, picking cotton, right? Building things for them. Basically building their infrastructure and maintaining it, which is the exact same thing in 2020, like you just putting out with the system. So now we're not under the slaves and shackles, right? But yet they still maintain a system to where you still do their dirty work and maintain their system. Nothing has changed, has it? So my question is, why? You was here first, why? More importantly, let me say this, because I know your girl trying to get you to go, but this is something serious, right? So more importantly, do you want to know the answer? Are you trying to fix that? Because are you familiar with y'all give me like American Indian Movement, AIM, and Brown Beret? They was like with the Black Panthers. They saw the issues that faced their communities. They were trying to do something to do about it. Are you trying to do anything about it? What are you trying to do? You trying to make sure you what? Make sure your family's straight and everybody around you straight. How you doing that? I got you, bro. And we trying to do the same thing. But what we're trying to do is show you who you are, thus saith this Bible. Because before the conquistadors came, were you calling yourself a Mexican?
Bring it out.
Was that your nationality? It was? So when they came over here and they saw y'all, you would say, hey, I'm a Mexican?
Oh, no.
No, you was not saying that.
Right.
And the problem is they took away your identity. Not knowing who you are is taking you away from God. Because if you look on this sign right here, God calls you an Issacharite. You're from the tribe of Issachar. But your oppressor will tell you that you are a Mexican. And they're not showing you who you are, thus saith this Bible.
Right.
All right, so let me show you this right here. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. I'm going to show you the things that happened to us today and back then are in this Bible. The conquistadors, right? I'm sorry, not verse 48. Give me 49.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 49.
Bring it on.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So God will bring another nation. So they weren't also the Mexicans, right? They said they're from Spain and they might have taught y'all Spanish, but again, they weren't the same people. Another nation from afar. Read. And what would these people do from Spain? Read.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as the eagle fly. Their symbol would be the eagle. What's the symbol of America today? The eagle, right? And believe it or not, Spain had the eagle, Rome had the eagle. And what's the common denominator of America, Spain, and Rome? They all are Caucasian. They all descend from Caucasian people, right? Europeans, right? Which is not you, right? Okay, so as swift as the eagle flieth, another nation will come against thee. So-called Mexicans from afar, right? Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Because I wasn't speaking Spanish until they conquered y'all and taught y'all that. Just like we were speaking English until they conquered us and taught us that.
Right, right. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
What's your name, sir? Miguel. What does that mean? A nation who would not regard a person of the old or the young. I mean, they wouldn't give a damn about somebody who's old or young. What does that mean? Right, and therefore, if you whether you young or old, you're gonna be working, right? Young or old, you're gonna be they're gonna kill you, right? Is that not part of the history of this country now? What did the conquistadors do? This is Bible. This is in the Bible, but it's your history. It's our history. It's saying that another nation will come and would a fierce countenance mean angry, and would not regard the person of young or old, meaning no matter what age you was, you all can get it. Read.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed.
And he said he will eat the fruit of your cattle and the fruit of your land, meaning that all your natural resources this other nation is going to absorb and take for themselves. You just pointed it out a minute ago when I said what were they doing? They was taking the gold, and it wasn't just the gold, it was all the fruit, all the cattle, all the natural resources of this land. So now to the point was you got to go to them. Right? If this was your land first, how is it that you got to go to them for now groceries? You got to go to them now for food, for water. They wanted that you already own. How does that make sense? And calling you now an alien? How does that make sense when they were the ones who were foreign to this land? When they say American, they don't think of you. They think of them because this is now named after them. This is in the Bible though. I'm trying to connect the dots to show you that this is how you know you are an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, because your history was talked about years, thousands of years ago. Are you familiar with the story of Moses coming out of Egypt to let my people go, split the Red Sea? Give me 27:1 real quick. Hold that. I know you're trying to deal with me and you're trying to, say the word. This is more important, bro. I'm telling you, this is the most important thing you'll get, because you don't need me to tell you our history. I tell people all the time, this is in the history books. You can read it for yourself as far as what the conquistadors did. But to put that all together and to give you a solution as to how then we get out of this predicament is what we're here to show you. Give me 27:1. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 and verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying.
So the elders of Israel was the audience that Moses was speaking to. When you look at the Israelites, those consist of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, so on and so forth. Again, you descend from those same people that Moses was speaking to. All right, so give me 28 verse 15. So Moses is speaking to a certain group of people, right? He's with the elders of Israel, and this is what he's telling them. Give me verse 15, read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So Moses is saying, you know what, Miguel? Right now, in the future, it's gonna happen. If you don't listen to God, these people on this sign, if you don't listen to God, something's gonna happen. What did Moses tell Miguel and his forefathers what would happen? Come on, 28 verse 15.
Chapter 28 verse 15. Bring it up. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So if you don't listen to God and keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, did you hear Catholicism in there at all? Did you hear if you don't be a Catholic? So far, what we read? Did you hear Catholic? Did you hear Baptist? Did you hear Pentecostal? Did you hear Seventh-day Adventist? That's all the things that this man brought. That's all the things that this man brought. This Bible was never a book of religion, especially the way that they taught it to you. Because when they conquered you, remember, they taught you your language now is Spanish, and they told you that you're now a Catholic. Just like they told us now we're Baptists and we're English, or we're Americans. So they separated us and gave us what they wanted us to have. But when you read again, read it from the top. Tell me if you hear any religion that you must be. Because Moses is saying, if you don't keep God's commandments, commandments, something's going to happen. Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So if we don't keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, that's all this Bible is about. Not a religion, it's just laws and commandments. It's also a book of heritage and culture, things that we did. If we don't keep God's commandments, what he told us to do, what would happen?
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Moses is warning the elders of Israel the bad things that God would do to us to punish us if we don't keep his commandments. Now, let's go back to verse 50. This is one of the punishments that God said would be upon us. Read.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance.
Now remember, Moses with the elders of Israel, right? He's telling Israel what would happen to them if they don't keep God's commandments. So by you, Miguel, not keeping God's commandments, this would be a thing that God would do to punish you. Read.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
Come on.
Give me Lamentations verse 6, or Lamentations verse 5, start at verse 1. This is the punishment that God said would be upon his people for not keeping his commandments. Can you, let me ask you right now, has that happened to anybody else in history that you can think of? But us, right? This is how you know that Moses was speaking to you, how you know you're an Israelite, because the things that God said he would do as a punishment would only pertain to our people, nobody else. Give me this right here.
The book of Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 2. Our inheritance.
No, give me verse 1.
Verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach.
Miguel, you know what the word reproach means? Reproach means to be hated. To be hated. Remember our reproach. The black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man are hated by all other people for no reason. Just like you said about the system. The system is set up against us. I have done nothing to you or to them. I go into a store, they still look at me like I'm a thief. Same as you. That's what it means to be a reproach. Why? What thing have you done prior to make them feel that way? Nothing. This is what it's going into. This is saying, remember our reproach. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Waiting for something to pop off, right? Absolutely. And you know the stuff that pops off goes into Deuteronomy 28 verse 16, one of the curses, which was that we will be cursed in the city, that we no longer can get together and rule our nation. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're out here to do, to fix our people, to give them understanding. But instead, we need another nation to come over here and judge us or show us how to get together, because we can't do it ourselves. That's a problem. That's a curse. All other nations got communities and neighborhoods where they can get together, they can fix their issues. But with us, I got to get a gun, I got to get a knife, and I got to put you to death. And that's hatred. Nobody else, again, is going through that but us. We got to have somebody else come in and patrol our neighborhoods. Give me this right here. Continue. Verse 2. Hey, the flyer that you got has more information on what we're going into. Appreciate your time, Miguel. All right. I want you to finish that out, though. Actually, hold on. My brother right over here. You're welcome. My brother with the jacket on. Black man. Come over and talk to me, sir. I saw you was listening. You know who you are according to the Bible, sir, what your nationality is? I want you to finish verse 2, Lamentations 5 and 2.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
It says our inheritance is turned to strangers, our lands. And it's not just Americans, it's actually Jerusalem too, because bastards over there dwell in Ashdod. They are in our lands right now. This is talking about nobody else but the black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man. We no longer have a land to call our own. The brother earlier just said he was African American, but when I asked him where's that at, he couldn't tell me. We have no land to call our own because our land, our inheritance, was turned to strangers. This is not your land. You said you're American. You said you Minnesotan. You say you from Chicago. Oh, I represent Memphis. That ain't your land. Read.
Our houses to you aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
We orphans and fatherless. Why? Because who is attacked the most? The black man.
Right.
Because the black man, believe it or not, is the backbone of the family. The black man, believe it or not, is going to be the one to raise up his community. That's why we orphan and fatherless, because they want to attack you first. They want to make you effeminate, make you gay so that way you're not reproducing, put you in jail so that way you're not reproducing, have you at odds with your woman so that way you're not reproducing. We are fatherless and widows. What other nation suffers that? What other nation proudly goes on Maui talking about baby mama this and baby daddy that? Read.
We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us.
And therefore, once this nation now takes over our land, now they sell back our natural resources to us. Let me get that in Isaiah 51. Isaiah 51:20, I believe it is. The heads of every street corner. Now our stuff is sold back to us. How is it that you had this land first as Native Americans?
Yeah.
So-called Native Americans.
Come on, huh?
I'm talking to my brothers right over here across the street. Come over here and talk with us, man. Because we out here for y'all to build y'all back up.
That's right.
Put y'all back in the right state of mind to lead your people. Give me the matter of fact, in the Bible prophesies what we're seeing right now.
That's right.
Read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 51 and verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of the streets as a wild bull.
It says thy sons have fainted. This is exactly what we're talking about, or what we read in Lamentations 5 about we orphanless, we are orphans and we have widows because the black man is gone, the head of the household is gone, so therefore our sons have no leaders. Our sons have no role models, nobody to look up after, so therefore now they have fainted. They went to sleep. Y'all asleep right now. And what are you doing now? You pushing drugs to your own brothers and sisters?
That's right.
You out here want to prostitute and whore out your own brothers and sisters? You out here doing all kinds of things that are going to further destroy your own community. Not doing nothing that's prosperous for your people.
That's right.
How is just standing at a corner going to help your people? How is selling drugs going to help your peoples? But when it comes to trying to understand what you got to do to rise up, we don't want to hear that. My sister, how you doing right here with the glasses? Read that from the top again.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord.
It says, as wild bulls in the net, we full of the fury of the Lord. We angry as hell. We mad as hell because we suffering these curses. God said, as a curse, your enemies will rule over you. As a curse, you have to go to your enemies for all things. As a curse, you will live in the worst conditions, eat the worst food. And you damn right that make you upset.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.